Hi, I'm Julia with Julia Sue's Stamping. I'm so excited that you're here to hang out with me for a few minutes. If this is your first time, then welcome. And if you have been here before, then welcome back. It's wonderful to be here with you. I live in Northeast Ohio, and right now, if you're watching in real time, it's February. When we got up this morning, it was, I think, 7 degrees. Really cold. And I need to take the dog out as soon as I'm done filming here, so that's going to be fun. I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, so everything I use is Stampin' Up! If you already have a demonstrator, that's great. And if you don't, and you would choose to use me, I would appreciate your support so much. I would love to help you on your crafting journey, to be there to help you and answer any questions that you may have. Today's card is a fun fold card. It is unique and it has a surprising twist that makes the card, well, it's easy and it's elegant. So let's jump right in. We are going to start off with the cardstock colors because they're here on top. Got some basic white, Cajun craze, a little bit of crumb cake, some Calypso coral. I just love this bright poppy color. I'm going to be using the Timeless Plaid Designer Series paper for the flower that I'm creating with you. Some early espresso ink. I'm using a brand new embossing folder that is, because I'm a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, I was able to get it a little early. It is the mini corrugated 3D embossing folder. I saw this and thought, oh yeah, I'm getting this because I love industrial look. In architecture, I love rustic. So this for me was a no-brainer and was on my list right away of something that I wanted to get. Then I'm using for the stamp set Layers of Beauty. I love this You Make My Heart Smile. So that's the sentiment that's going to be used. For an embellishment, low profile dots. They're really nice. I'm using the 1 3/4 inch circle punch for the flower I'm going to create, and I'm using one of the smaller, see if we can get it in focus, Stylish Shapes circles. I like this because it's got a cool circle. Let's see, it looks like it's stitching. Here's a bigger one that I made. See how that stitching is? I love that stitching and it adds so much to this project. So here we go. This is all the stuff that's being used, and let's go ahead and get started. The base of the card is 11 inches by 4 1/4, and then I scored it at 5 1/2, folded it. I'm going to bring in the paper trimmer, and I'm cutting from, say you open the card, right? And this is the right side of the card front. I'm cutting from the top down to the bottom left. So, I mean, okay, I don't know my directions very well. I'm cutting from the top left to the bottom right. And I'm going to put those both in the crosshairs, basically, of this line where our trimmer will trim. And I've got them in there. Take your time. You want to do this well. And then that is the card base. This is going to kind of flip over so that you use it for the right side of the card. How cool is that? And then it will open up to look like that, basically. So we're going to go ahead then and get out the other elements that are used. And I've got a piece of the crumb cake cardstock, has been cut to be 1/4 inch smaller. So this is 4 inches by 5 1/4 here today. And then using the paper trimmer, cut it so that it's in 2 pieces like this. All right. Then the corrugated 3D embossing folder to run it through the bottom sheet like this. So this is how it would look. Now you can use this for another card or something like that if you want. And I'm going to adhere it to the front left part of the card. And I'm going to use the liquid adhesive for this because then I can get right into the corners and I can move it around for just a second if I need to after I get it on. So I'm going to simply put it down. I can see it a little easier if I open everything up, and it will have a nice little matte framing because of that being a 1/4 inch smaller. And there we go. Right, so this is the next piece we're going to play around with, and I have the piece of Cajun craze that has also been cut to be 4 inches by 5 1/4. And just like the crumb cake piece, I made it so it was, you know, I'm having problems with this today. It's a puzzle. There we go. All right, so cut in this manner right here, and then what we're going to do is take this piece and we're going to adhere it to our mat of the Coral Calypso. Since I have the liquid glue here, I'm going to go ahead and simply put that on, getting into the corner. There we go. A little bit will do ya, and it will allow me to move it for just a moment if I don't get it on the way I want right away. So that's a nice little bit of grace that using the liquid glue will give us on this piece here. Okay, so that is all done. Now I'm going to adhere it to the front by lining it up on the side and the bottom. I'm going to close the front and use my fingers to help mark where I do not want to put the adhesive. So I'm okay with putting the glue anywhere right here, pressing it down, and there we go. So now the front of the card is all done. It's all adhered and put together. Now let's decorate the inside a little bit, shall we? I've got a piece of the basic white cut and a little bit of the Cajun craze cut as well to mat that. And I'm going to go ahead and put it inside the card. But I think first, because this way if I make a mistake I can correct it, I'm going to use the early espresso ink and the stamp of the You Make My Heart Smile, inking it up. I'm going to put that onto the top here, and I'm going to center it kind of in the middle as much as I can anyway, and go down and up. Oh, that stamped beautifully. So yay, I don't need to redo any of that. Yay. And now I'm going to put a little bit of glue on it and then lay it down onto the Cajun craze piece. That's going to mat it perfectly. Smoosh it down, and then a little bit of adhesive on the back of here as well, putting it into the inside of the card. And then the sentiment shows up. See how that worked? Very, very nice. I'm so happy about that. Yay! For the moment, I'm going to go ahead and close up the liquid adhesive, and now we're going to talk about the Dahlia Fold. So I made a bigger piece here so that it was easier to share it with you. I'm going to use a much smaller circle though for my flower. What I do to create this is I fold it in half first. Now I'm going to use the bone folder for this because I like to make sure it's really crisp and tight. I'm going to fold it again so that it is in quarters. Like I said, this is bigger than what I'm going to be using, but I wanted to make it big so I could share it with you. Now you see how it's in 4 pieces here? I'm going to take this top edge and I'm going to fold it up so that I'm using this edge and this edge here as my boundaries, and I'm just going to put it all the way up so that it makes a little kind of a brim. If this was a hat, this would be the brim of the hat. And I used all the way from this corner to this corner to fold it up. I'm going to use the bone folder to make that tight. Now what I'm going to do is flip it over and do the exact same thing on the other side. So I'm going to just use that top layer, open it up, and I'm using from edge to edge, pressing it down with the bone folder. All right, so that's how it looks at this point. Now I'm going to open it up, and it's going to be kind of like making a paper airplane. Did you ever make those when you were in school? Did you make paper airplanes? Well, that's kind of what we're going to do right now. I'm going to take this edge, so this is like an origami type of thing when you're making this fold, and I'm going to bring that edge right to the middle fold, using the bone folder to make it nice and tight. And now I'm going to do it on the other side as well. Now, if when you're folding this, you don't do it perfectly, that's okay. No one is ever going to know. Honestly, if I could show people all the stuff I do wrong on cards, and then they would see it. But if I don't show them, they don't know, right? And then we're going to adhere. I made 8 of these, and I made them smaller though, because like I said, for this card, it's smaller. And then 8 of these, adhering them on a piece of cardstock, and then it makes a big flower. So I'll show you that in a moment. I have 4 that I've already adhered to a piece of cardstock, and you can see how much smaller the fold is that I made. Yeah, that circle is way smaller that I used than the one that I just demonstrated to you. I'm going to use a little bit of the seal, and I love how it's got those little perforations, because then I can just pick it up and get it where I want. Now I'm going to lift up the edges of these that I've already put down, and I'm going to snug this little fold right in. All right, now I've got another one that I had already folded into that origami type of fun fold, and I'm going to put more adhesive on it, lift up the edge there, lift up this edge here, and then slip this right in. So whenever I make this Dahlia fold, I always start with, I fold my bottom little piece as well into 4s, and I put one here, one here, one here, so that the fold of this piece matches the fold there, right? And then I fill it in from there. That just helps me kind of have a starting base, and then I just fill it in. And now I'm going to put more adhesive on, fold it up. If it's overlapping over the sides, I'm going to lift up this little Dahlia piece, this little one, and then slide this right in. How pretty is that? It's taking shape. You can see a little Dahlia flower coming out. And now I'm going to do that right here. And this designer series paper is gorgeous. Any designer series paper is beautiful with this. I have tried so many different ones, but the thing is, they all look great. It just needs to be a double-sided paper. You cannot do this with a single-sided very well. It won't turn out as nicely at all. All right, so there is the Dahlia fold, and I'm just showing that to you on this version of the card, because of course I made others, because I thought it was a really nice way to have a little element here in the middle. I'm going to put a little bit of adhesive now. I can see where it will go on the card, so I'm going to put some adhesive down where I'd want it to adhere to the card, and I'm picking what I think is the prettier part up on there. Now you can make it so these kind of stand up if you want. That would be 100% up to you. It mails very well. It's not a problem with mailing. I've seen the end result before, so it ends up looking good. Using those low profile dots, I'm going to grab one with the take your pick tool, put it right into the middle, and that is this card. That's it. That's it for this one. And how quick and easy is that? It's so cute. I love this fold. I love the Dahlia Fold, and I really like this Fun Fold card. I like the Fun Fold card so much that of course I made more than one version of it, right? So I've got this one that I used the designer series paper of the Bloom Impressions, and I used a different the label punch with it, the mixed media mixed labels stamp set, a little bit of shiny ribbon there, and inside continuing with the designer series paper. And I really like to have the back of the piece that I'm doing match the inside, you know, the Azura Afternoon with the Bloom Impressions. I think it's such a pretty card. But I also did it in the Thoughtful Journey designer series paper. How pretty is that? And then this is also from the mixed labels stamp set, the dies from the mixed labels, and this paper, let's see, what is this? This is ribbon. And it is a blackberry with gold trim on it. It was on the clearance list. I'm not sure if it has sold out or if it's still there, but if it's still there, boy, I would run and get it because it's gorgeous. Such beautiful ribbon. Then, of course, there's another version of it using Nests of Winter. I put a little bit of the elements of text behind here, a couple of different punches, and inside more of the same. So you can see all the different designer series papers look fantastic with this layout. It is so easy. So many possibilities, and every single one of them looks fantastic. I don't know what one I like the best, but I do really like this Dahlia Fold. I think that thing is super cool. That is it. Okay, so you can see how easy it is, how versatile this layout is, and I am including the layout in my next newsletter. I've got a PDF full of different layouts that I'm going to be including in my next newsletter. So if you aren't already a subscriber of the newsletter, I am going to be listing it. So please be sure that you check it out. All the details are going to be on the blog, so check that out too. And I really appreciate your time and being here to hang out with me. Well, that's it. How easy is that? And really versatile. That card layout is simply amazing, and like so many others, it's kind of addicting. Really easy to use, and you can see lots of different stamp sets, different papers, different colors, all look great. And the Dahlia Fold, how fun is that? I'm sure you'll be able to use it for lots of different things. I have a PDF I'm including in my next newsletter that has a whole bunch of these layouts and templates free for you. A PDF right inside the newsletter. If you're not already a subscriber of the newsletter, then please be sure you take a look down in the description. I have a link there for you, and you can sign up to be a part of the newsletter fun. There are lots of ideas, tips, and tricks that I give out every other week. So it's not something in your inbox every week, it's every other week, not too often, and some really great ideas, color combinations, sketch layouts, and like in this next one, PDF tutorials. So please be sure you check it out, give the video a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button if you aren't already a subscriber, and follow me on social media. I hope you have a wonderful day and that you have an opportunity to get inky. Bye.